Alright folks, here we go. I just loaded up the physics demo, and it's just playing there. Normally you'd be able to see the ship. I'm just going to turn the camera down a little bit. It bumped into an asteroid at spawn. Right now, the waypoint beam, which is going to be the tractor beam used later, right now it just points to the current waypoint target, is the yellow beam. The guns point right off the aft right now, like a tank. They point backwards until we're ready to use. Those are just marker beams for the point of testing things in the demo. I've managed to smooth out the camera auto tracking, which I'm now going to turn on. You notice there the camera automatically finds its target and points at it. That's actually using the physics. It's not using the built-in anti-rotation commands. It's actually applying torques. You'll see up here some information. The current item that's tracking right now, it's only the camera that's important. It's only 3 degrees off being dead on target for that. The waypoint is currently 0, and that will remain 0 until it actually gets on the path. Right now the ship is nowhere near the waypoint, so even if I engage the waypoints, which I'm going to do in a moment, it will read 0 until it's on waypoint 1. Distance only works while thruster AI is on. If the angle is greater than 20 degrees, or too far away from distance, the distance AI shuts off and allows the ship to just drift. And once the ship is aimed at its target enough again, the thrust AI will kick back on and modulate the thrust for you. However, it doesn't visually change the size of the flames at the moment, it just turns them on and off. So, what I'm going to do now, with just a key press, is I'm going to turn on the automatic AI. Now the ship is actually only 30 degrees and dropping, 30 degrees and closing from its intended target, and went under 20 degrees off target. Now you notice there's a combined information at the top which says DP, which is a mixture of some data. But on the left there in the small font is the actual how far the ship is from target as far as angles. It's about 13 to 14 degrees off target. Now that may increase as it approaches, and as you can see there, the ship just cut thrust to allow it to steer more. Now remember, in space in 0G, the ship is actually still moving on its original vector. So as the ship repoints towards where it wants to be, it will kick in the thrust once it gets close enough. Distance is still being calculated, it's just not being shown in this loop. So once it gets aimed at where it wants to go, it'll give a little bit of thrust, and you'll notice it's now selected waypoint 1, which means it reached waypoint 0. And it's now on its way to waypoint 1. But as you can see, once again, like the big heavy ship it is, it's currently vectoring to get a head start, because you don't want to just engage the engines pointing totally in the wrong way. The AI has now determined that it was within 20 degrees. Now those engines don't come on full power, and I can't show it on the thrust just yet, but they are modulated by how close it is to being dead on to the target. So now there's only like about 8 or 9 degrees or 10 degrees difference from being pointed directly at the target. Oh, that was a short waypoint. We're already on our way to waypoint 2. It will change the amount of thrust based on how well it's pointed at its target. Now I'm just going to enable the tracking systems here. You'll notice the yellow line is now actually a line from the bow of the ship to its intended target. And I'm just going to move the camera in a little closer. Really a fair ways out there. The yellow line points to its waypoint target. The red lines are actually still coming off the now active turret on the foredeck, and that turret is currently tracking a target. Now that target has nothing to do with anything on the HUD other than the red lines, and we're still a fair ways away from the ship. I can mount the camera on the ship, but right now I'm just wanting to show the chase cam, so to speak, and I'm pushing a little bit of forward camera movement to get us in and closer here. But the ship itself is heading towards that waypoint. Now I can push a button here on the joystick and make the turret change its target. Now, it just so happens that the first couple waypoints were actually outside the asteroid field. So as we'll see here in a couple seconds, this thing should jet in. I'm just going to fly towards the ship here with the camera. Chase camera, getting closer here. Even though the camera is pointed at the bow, it's doing its best to keep up with it. It's not perfect, so it's best to have the camera pointing at the bow or just a bit ahead of the bow, and then you get most of the ship. Now we're actually moving into the asteroid field now, so keep the camera on the ship a little bit. The motion is very smooth, and I'm hoping it's recording those flight data on the telemetry on the left. But as you can see here, the asteroids themselves are the various targets for the gun. And as it cycles through those asteroids, you'll see that the red beams pass right on through because they have no collision detection set up to stop that. Anyhow, we can ride the ship. One more press of the button here. The camera is now mounted to the ship. I'm just going to step a little bit to the side and back. There used to be horrible vibration under automatic navigation. It's been reduced. Formulas that came across. But as you can see, we're currently flying towards our next waypoint. We're coming up on it. And we're going to be on board for the switch. There's the engine shutting down. We're now coasting. And we might see the engines kick in again. It might coast close enough to the intended waypoint here that it might just switch waypoints without engaging the engines again. About 1 second, it's already going to cut some engine in. There we go, we're on to waypoint number 2 again. And in about 2 seconds, there we go, we're off. Now that waypoint's a long way away, it's 1,000 units. So at this point, I'm just going to exit this here. You see the deck gun moving at the various different asteroids. And it's basically behaving how I need to move to the next phase, which is add some shooting and some targets and some missiles. So we're all set for that. Those targets don't need as much accuracy, and it doesn't matter if they're going to vibrate. You might see the yellow line vibrating there a little bit, but other than that, it's working pretty much as expected. Here we go. I will end this now. Thanks for watching.